Good morning. Good morning. Little early comers. I like that. Good stuff. See, Brian. Let's see. Probably going to mess your name up, but I think it's Afua. We'll see. Here comes Maverick. One of the inspirations for today's topic. Here comes Aaron. Look at these early risers. I love it. Aaron's in her car, probably bringing her kiddos to school or sitting in the car line. Never know. That's where Angel's off to go drop the little one off.
There you go. Oh, I was muted. Okay, now you can hear me.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, and Keegan's at speech therapy, so I get to sit here in silence for 20 minutes, and then
Nice.
I'll probably turn off my camera.
Awesome. Well, thank you for hopping on. I'm gonna give it one more minute, and then we'll hop to it.
I mute myself again.
There you go. And Brian, I don't know if we know each other. I see Afua is still trying to connect to audio, so maybe she'll hop on here in a second.
Are we ever going to find out who Maverick? Are we ever going to get to find out who Maverick is? Or are they going to stay incognito for a while?
Very, very soon. Very soon. I'll be talking about Maverick a little bit today, and once we're not recording when we're not recording calls, you'll hear from Maverick. I'll talk a little bit about him today too.
We were joking about him the last time. Was it Friday's meeting?
Oh yeah.
Who's Maverick?
Yeah, we recruited Tom Cruise, just so you all know. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for hopping on this Money Mindset Monday. We're going to call lots of different things. Oh, hey, Brian. Oh, it's Brian Weston, my buddy Brian. Awesome. The reason that we're doing these calls is, this is going to be a quick call. This is not going to be an hour-long training or anything like that. This is really to get the day and the week into momentum. That's the whole goal of this call. And we're going to have other speakers on here and all kind of stuff. But the goal is just to give you a focus for the week. Because again, this is when I do calls like this. I've been in this industry for 22 years. I love saying that. I hate saying it at the same time. But there's people on this call that have been in the business longer than I have. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And so, that it's something that I've learned over the years is that when I do a call, the first checkbox I have to go is, will this call help me grow? Because if it's going to help me grow, then by default, anyone that hops on, it'll help them grow too. And it makes it where there's a mutual growth going on. It's not just like, I'm going to do on this call and we're going to talk motivation. This is more for me also than anyone else that's hopping on here. So if we haven't met, my name is James Lenhart. Usually I'm joined by Angel, but she is getting the little ones breakfast and lunch ready to go for the week. And so I'm flying solo, Mav, today. Flying solo. I don't have my goose with me. And so what we're going to talk about today is something that was probably the biggest turning point in my career in a home-based business, or just any business, or actually in life in general. Because so this is in 2012. One of the things I want to talk about is a conversation that I had with a mentor of mine in this industry. At the time, I was not the happiest camper, as you might say. Outwardly, I was happy. I had a successful business. I had a beautiful house, 2 cars, all this kind of stuff. And I was in the middle of helping a company in the energy deregulation space launch into Chicago, into Illinois. And it was amazing. It was so cool. I was the guy that I decided I was going to be next to everybody out there, because the people flying into Chicago to launch this company there were all 7 and 8 figure earners from the industry. And I was still kind of new to the full-time side of the industry at that point. I decided that was where I was going to, plant my flag in my career. So this is 2011-ish, somewhere in there. And so when I decided to do that, the first thing I did was the company I was at, I said, where are the top income earners going to be? And they were going to be at this house in Chicago. So I volunteered to clean the toilets. That's what I did. Because every week they would fly into this house in Chicago. They would do meetings back to back to back all week long. And then everyone would fly home for the week. I would stay there the week. I'd clean the house. I would do the laundry. I would buy the food. I would do all of this stuff. And they'd come back the following week. And I did that all summer in 2011, and between 2011 and 2012. And then one of the people that was in the company at the time had worked very closely with Tony Robbins. And he worked closely with Tony Robbins for I think 6 or 7 years. He was one of his trainers. If you don't know Tony Robbins, just look him up. Most people on here probably know who he is. And he worked for him and said, hey, there's going to be an event in Chicago in a week from now, a week or two from now. And I was like, oh, that's great. I will never go to one of those events. I just never will. I mean, I'm not the hypey, jump up and down, go crazy person. I think you guys are all nuts when you do that. That's just not for me, right? And one of the things that I sat down with a friend of mine who was kind of a really close mentor of mine, he sat down with me, he said, so I hear you're not going to go to the event. I mean, it's 10 minutes down the road. We're going to give you a free ticket. Why wouldn't you go? And I was like, yeah, it's just not for me. I don't think I'm going to get anything out of it. I read books. I'm good. I'm on a good track. And he said the phrase that probably changed not just my business, but my entire life. And that phrase is, if you don't go, you'll never know. And that shifted my mindset. I was like, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I go? It's free and it's 10 minutes away, and I could probably pop in there, as it's getting started, and sneak in the back and just sit back there and not do anything. And that's what I did. I came into the Tony Robbins event. It started, I think, at 11 or 12. I got there 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was like, I'll sneak in the back. I was in a 3-piece suit. If you know me, I'm not a suit person, as you can see. And so when I went to that event, I slid in the back of the room. I went in the room. Everyone's jumping up and down on their chairs. They're hugging each other. I'm like, whoa, this is not my jam. I was not a hugger at the time. I'm a cool cat. If it's up to be, if it's to be, it's up to me, was my phrase. I didn't really have a lot of faith in really anything, not even really myself, even though I had success at the time. And so I went to that event. And I sat down in the back chair. Everyone's starting jumping up and all this kind of stuff. I started inching towards the back of the room. I was leaving. In my mind, I was like, this is not going to be for me. I was on my way out. And one of the crew, hundreds of people that crew those events, said, hey, can I help you? And I said, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to go I'm going to go home. This really isn't for me. And I think it was a he. And he put his arm around me and said, hey, why don't we just hang out here for a minute and just watch? I was like, all right, whatever. And so I hung out there and watched, and they kept doing their thing. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll go and sit back down. Well, that event changed the course of my entire life. So before that event, I was not in a good place, mentally, physically, spiritually. I smoked cigarettes. I drank beer every night. That was just my lifestyle, was that lifestyle. After that event, everything shifted, everything. And it went on the total other trajectory. Happiness and joy was something that I could kind of get into whenever I want. People always talk about, chasing happiness or being happy. No matter if you have 100,000 or if you have 1,000 in your account, 10,000 or 1 million, because I've been in all those different places, no matter what you have in your account or where you are in life, if you don't know how to tap into joy at any time, you're never going to be happy, because again, it always feels like you're going for more and more and more. And so after I left that event, I made some massive shifts. And I kind of gave up on the industry. I was like, this isn't for me. I'm not going to chase money anymore. And I went down this whole path of like, I wore black for a year. It was interesting. And so I got rid of my cars. I got rid of my house. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get rid of your cars and house, but for me, it was a purge of my mindset of what's important to me and where do I want to be. And is it because of the things Tony Robbins said and I learned? And to this day, I can be like, I remember when I learned this. To be honest, no. It was the experience of being around people that wanted to shift their mindset, and that leaked into me because I was immersed in it for 4 days. I was immersed in it into 4 days. I used to do 4-day events for this. And that was why I was able to kind of break through to a level that I would never normally, I wouldn't be able to do on myself. A local event, a book, a coach, that would never happen, because when I did that event, I immersed myself in that energy, that vibration. I didn't have a choice but to change. Now, I probably went a little drastic side, wearing black for a year and selling my cars and my house, probably a little drastic. But in order for me to get to where I needed to go, that's what had to happen. And it would not have happened if I hadn't gone to that event. Now, why do I say this story? Again, we're doing this as a quick call on Monday mornings. The reason I say that story is because I get goosebumps. That's where we are right now. We are 10 days out from the MDC convention. And for me to say to somebody, you should go to convention, it means more to me than anything, because I'm not a big convention person. I've been to, I would say, not every convention. I've been to a lot of conventions over my 22 years, whether it was a company I was with, a company I was consulting with, just with a friend. I've been to one company convention 5 times, and I only built in that company for like a year, but it was just fun to go, and friends wanted me to come with them. And so I would go to it, and it's this big, huge event and all this kind of stuff. And when I think of a company convention, and this is probably a little bit of my past showing up in the present, when I think of a company event, I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to learn about the products, and we're going to launch things, and shake some hands and da 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 da. That's not what this event is. That might be what other company conventions are. And again, what's crazy about me saying this, because you'll learn this about Angel and myself very quickly. We're very honest. We're very transparent, because I would never say this if I didn't believe it, because I don't really like going to company conventions. I'm the person that if I go to a convention or an event, we're going to an event on Wednesday, actually, for Rank Makers Live. And normally I'm the person that sits in the back of the room. And I'm like this, I'm like, okay, well, let me go stretch my legs, let me go walk around. That's normally how I used to be at events. Now, especially with Angel, we're sitting up front. I don't care what it is. We're getting as much information as possible, because it's never really about the information for me. It's that one little tidbit. It's that person that I meet that I never would have gotten to meet if I didn't go. It's also the meetings in between the meetings. And so I know if you're going to do a live stream is the best alternative. But if you have any way to get to this event, this is not going to be a product launch event. This company, MDC, it was not on our radar 2.5 weeks ago. I don't even know when we learned about it, but 2.5 weeks ago, MDC was not on our radar. We were consulting with a company. We had multiple businesses. We're having a blast. We're helping a lot of people, and liked what we were doing. Had no reason to look elsewhere. And then when somebody on this call shared this with us and said, hey, listen, I need you to take a look at this. You need to come out here. You need to check this out. It made such a drastic shift. And I don't think we would have made the shift if we hadn't gone to a small event, because we flew out to the home office and all these different things. And so the reason I'm saying this to you is because after that event that I went to Tony Robbins, anytime someone said, do you want to go to an event? My answer was yes. And again, when I said, 1,000 in your account, 10,000, a million, whatever is in your account, 100,000, I would go to events when there was nothing in my account. I literally would have nothing. I've driven 9 hours to an event. I have slept in bathtubs. No one ever believes me when I say that, but I have slept in bathtubs. And it's something that, when I do that, it's because I know the potential of the what if factor. what if I didn't go? What would I miss out on? Because when you're at an event, you really could get to collapse timeframes. So if you're a person that goes, you know what, I want to have a successful business at My Daily Choice, or I just want to grow and learn, maybe be more successful in my other business, because we're going to talk about that today through our other calls as well. Whatever the reason that you're here with My Daily Choice, you can collapse timeframes. So the success that you would normally have, let's say if you were with My Daily Choice or any business for a year to 3 years, you go to an event like Orlando, you're going to collapse that 1 to 3 years into about 90 days to 6 months. That's just what happens. And it won't be of any choosing of yours, because when you go to this event, like the reason that I stayed at the house in Chicago, the reason I went to the Tony Robbins event, it was the idea that if I'm around this energy, my vibration will get higher. It's by default. I could sit there and be mad and not want to be there. And by default, I've learned no matter what my mindset is at the event. Now, of course, it's good to be in a good mindset. It's good to have an open mind when you go to these. But no matter what your mindset is around it, if you just sit in the back of the room and absorb it, your vibration will be higher and you'll collapse time frame. So the reason the call to action here is, if you have that weekend available, if I lived in Canada, if I lived in Europe, if I lived anywhere, I would try to figure out a way to get to that event, because it's not going to be a product launch event. Yes. Will there be really cool products launched? Yes. Will there be a new marketing system launched for the travel program? Yes. But it's not about that. It's about what it'll do for your future, because will travel always be the hottest ticket item that MDC has? Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? We might come out with something awesome at convention that is a new category creator. Maybe the next event will come with another category creator. And the thing about this event is, I think, like we were talking this week with a couple friends, and this will be the last event that won't have immense amount of security around Josh and Jenna, because one of the reasons that we decided to really partner with My Daily Choice and make a massive shift so quickly is because of Josh and Jenna. Because if we're going to swim in a pond, I want to be around the biggest fish possible. If you go onto a website that I can share with you, you go on that website, Jenna is the #2 income earner in the world in a home-based business. She's the only female in the top 10, and all the other companies all the other people around her, in my opinion, are in total scams. They're in things that are not available in the US. They're in Ponzi schemes. They're in things that are all digital currencies and all this kind of stuff, which isn't necessarily saying those things are bad, but the companies, I don't know if they're going to be around for much longer. She's the only legitimate money earner in that list. And she's our sponsor. She's the person that we work with directly. And so if you want to learn from somebody like that, you want to get to as close as you possibly can to get a little vibration from that person and go, hey, what do you learn? Because one of the things that Angel said at the last event that we were at with her was the biggest and best product that MDC has at this moment, we believe, in our belief, is Jenna's Wiggle. Now, that's not to productize somebody or materialize somebody saying Jenna's a product, but she really is, because of the journey she's been on her entire life, where she is now making $1 million a month. Disclaimer, income is earned at different levels depending on your actions that you take. There's my income disclosure. $1 million a month, I want to be around a person like that. Why? Not maybe so I can make $1 million a month. Yeah, but it's because the space between where you are now and where she is vast. And if you just do a couple clicks up, that's 10,000 a month. A couple more clicks up, 20,000 a month. That's still far away from $1 million a month. I don't know if anybody on here wouldn't be able to use $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And again, in this compensation plan, because I'm so excited for the compensation plan presentation that we're going to put together, because that presentation is going to really kind of open up eyes and go, wait a minute, this is actually possible. And that's the last thing I want to end on here, and we'll wrap up for today, is this idea of possibility, of belief level. one of the things I've learned in this industry, having a home-based business, your skills are very, they're not needed. And that's one of the challenges when people come into a business like this, a home-based business. They go, okay, I got skills. I know how to run a business. I know how to do all this stuff. I've learned in this industry, skills actually don't matter that much. They might be a bonus. They might give you a little leg up, but it's not like a huge game changer. Here's the game changer. If someone's open to learning, if they're open to going, you tell me what to do, and I'm going to do that, because this is the only industry outside maybe insurance and finance a little bit, but it's still kind of the same because I've been in that industry. This is the only industry where I want Aaron to make double the amount of income as us in shorter time periods. I don't know any industry like that. No industry do you come in to go, hey, listen, Aaron, I'm going to pour everything I've learned over 22 years into you because I want you to make more money faster and easier than I ever did. I don't, if you show me that industry, I want to check it out. Maybe real estate, maybe a little bit, but not really. Because again, usually in businesses, when somebody comes in or an employee or whatever it is, you're almost training your competition. So why am I going to pour into someone all the things I've learned when they could steal my thunder or get promoted above me or whatever other millions of reasons I could come up with of why I don't want to pour into somebody. In this industry, it's the only industry where you will go to an event, especially, I believe, MDC, and every single person in that room goes, man, I want Brian to do awesome. Oh my gosh, I want Aaron to do amazing. I'm going to say it probably wrong, Afua, to do incredible. I want her to make so much more money than she could ever dream and accomplish every goal she has. Everyone in that room wants that because why? Because if everyone's successful in that room, the compensation plan actually pays out more. And so everybody wants everyone to be successful, no matter if they're in your group, they're not in your group. And with My Daily Choice, with MDC, why you want to run with MDC, so funny. Why you want to run with MDC is really because of the types of people that are in it. And because of Josh and Jenna, who's kind of the ringmasters of the show, because if there are awesome people in the team that are not in our team, she'll pluck them out, have them do an overview, have them do a training that will become available to everybody. So in this company, there is no upline, downline, crossline, that line, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. This is a family where everyone really wants to work together. And when you go to this event at the convention in Orlando, November 3rd to the 5th, and you don't have to pay for a ticket, just like Tony Robbins. I didn't have to pay $800 to go to that event, my first event. Well, then my next event, I paid like $85,000 because I signed up for his platinum partnership. But that's another story for another day. And so again, this ticket that you're getting because of what we've been able to be a part of over the last couple of weeks and some partnerships we have and some amazing people that have decided to partner and really go side by side with us. We have tickets that don't cost anything. Each ticket, every person that's gone to this event, they're paying $250 in some way, shape, or form. They're paying $250 to go to this event. A couple, that's $500. We get to wipe that out and go, nope, if you're on this team, you don't have to pay that $250. What's that mean? Does that mean you go for free? No. That means now you have $250 to spend on a flight, hotel, gas, a boat, whatever it takes to get to that event and pile into a room at a local hotel. Again, remember I said I used to sleep in bathtubs. We would have like 9 people in a room. It was crazy, but it was only for 2 nights. Who cares? You don't need that much privacy for 2 nights. You're only getting changed, taking a shower, and you're out, and you're not even spending time with the room. So again, it's getting that idea of like, we're just going to go to this event. I went to an event. Actually, I just remembered this popped in my head, and I'll wrap up. I went to an event. I slept in my car. I didn't even go to a hotel room. I slept in my car, and I would take a shower in the gym at the hotel. One of the hotels is a nice hotel. I would go in there. I would take a shower in the hotel. And so again, if you want to be a person that collapses timeframes, if you want to be a person that it doesn't require a lot of skill to do this, If you want to be a person that accomplishes things that you kind of think are more dreams than goals, because goals are milestones, they're results. They're something that people you just do on a daily basis. Dreams are something that people go, well, how would I ever achieve that? How is that even possible? And I think that's what you're going to see at the event is how do I achieve the impossible? How do I get out of my job and do this full time? How do I create a side hustle income of $1,000 to $2,000 a month that I don't have to think about? How do I do that? I can't even see it. You go to this event and I promise you'll see it. And that's why we really want to promote this event, not for our business. It doesn't really matter for our business. It really matters for the lives of people that are in our business. I really believe the reason we're at MDC right now, because again, we were not here 2.5 weeks ago at any way, shape, or form. And now we're here right before the last smallest convention this company will ever have. There are gonna be about 1,500 to 2,000-ish people. That might sound big to you, but the people that are coming into this company and aligning with this company would do events of 10, 20, 30,000 people in one single event. That's what's going to happen in 2024 or 2023. 2023, I don't even know what year it is. In 2023, there's going to be events where you are going to go to an arena and sit in an arena and hear from people. And you're going to see 20,000 people around you. And if you went to Orlando, you're going to be like, man, I remember when there was 1,000 people in this room. And that's what's going to happen. And you get to be a part of that astronomical growth over the next 12 months. And if you don't go, you just won't know. You won't know, would it help? Would it change me? Would it ignite my life? Not just my business. Because again, if it was a business meeting, I wouldn't be telling you to do this because honest and transparent. I'm not a convention guy. I'm not an event guy. I go to them because I know the value of it. But if it were up to me, I'd sit in the back of the room or just not go. That's just how I am. But I force myself out of my comfort zone to go, hey, I have to do this. And the more uncomfortable you are about making the decision to go, the more you should probably go. Because if the decision wasn't a time decision, if it wasn't a money or a time decision, you wouldn't have to decide. If you had the money in your account, if you had the time to go, it would be like that. So if you want your life to be more about not worrying about making decisions around time and money, you need to go around people that don't have those decisions on a daily basis. They decide, how do I want to get up? What do I want to do? Who do I want to spend time with? What vacation do I want to go on next? Where do I want to take the kids? What should we do tonight for dinner? Do we want to fly somewhere? Whatever that decision is, that's the kind of people that you're going to be around at conventions. So again, this was a kind of a call to action for your week. And if you can't go, you don't feel bad about it either. If you're like, you know what, it's my wedding, it's okay. If you're like, hey, it's my kid's first birthday, it's all right. Bring your kid, bring them on down to Orlando. Whatever it is, if there's something that just prevents you from not going physically, totally understand. If it's a time or money thing, let us know. Because if it's a time or money thing, we can figure it out. We have people that have rooms. We can find really good deals on airlines. We can figure out how to get you there. We can get creative. And the only thing you need to do in order to see if you could do it is raise your hand and go, hey, I want to be at that event, but I have no clue how to make that happen. I got $10 in my account. I got a job I got to be at on Thursday and Friday. And I know the event starts then. I don't even know how this would even be plausible, but I really think I should be there because I don't want to not know what happens if I don't go. Because the thing is that you don't know what happens if you do go. Here's what happens if you don't go. Nothing. That's what happens. Nothing will happen. You will continue to go on doing what you've always done and get what you're getting. If you go to the event, there's a chance, there's a risk, there's an opportunity for you to make a shift and get what you actually want. Those dream little things that you dream of, I have this. If you have not listened and started going through TIR with Thinking into Results with Jenna Zweigel, I would encourage you to do so. It's got me dreaming again. Now, I've been through massive amounts of personal growth development and gone to 1 million events and spent ridiculous amounts of money on personal growth coaching and trainers. I still need a kick sometimes and go, hey, listen, you have to write this down, man. You want this? You got to write it down, because if you write it down, it'll happen. If you don't write it down, it will not happen. If you don't have the thoughts to create the results or the goals, those goals and results will not happen because you didn't have the thoughts. And so this is just my call to action. Hopefully I'm reaching 1 or 2 people. I'm not trying to get an army there. Our goal is at this event or the next event to have 100+ people in our organization there. Our goal is the next event is actually 500. I'm already thinking, what's that next event going to be? 500 people at that event. And so, but it's not about our business right now. I believe there's an alignment there was a reason for the alignment at the exact time, because we could have heard about this from our friend after convention. He could have told us later, but for whatever reason, it was 2 weeks ago, and we're here. We are right now, and you're listening to this call. And there's a convention where amazing people are going to be at that are super successful at what they do, no matter if it's MDC or anything else. They are super successful. Our direct sponsor earns over $1 million a month, already did an income disclosure, whatever that is. And you go, wait, I need to be around that. Then get together with us. Contact Angel, contact me, contact the person that enrolled you and say, hey, I need to talk to James and Angel. I got to figure out how we're going to get there. I got to be there. We're going to figure it out. I want to sleep in the bathtub. I don't care, because that's what I was. The only reason that we are where we are right now is because both Angel and I wish she was on here, but she's with our little one and she could share her story. But we're where we are right now because of events. Not because of an idea we read in a book and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I think I'll do that and go be super successful. It's not really how it works. You got to get around people that vibrate at a higher level, and that's what's going to happen. So hopefully this was helpful. I hope that you kind of take some action from it and go, listen, I got to figure out how to get there. We are going to have some calls today. We've got a call at 12 p.m. Central. We've got a call at 7 p.m. Central. The 12 p.m. is kind of a quick look, probably exactly this time period, about 30 minutes for a quick overview look of what MDC is. And then at night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central, well, it could be morning because we've got some people in Australia too, but 7 p.m. Central, we're going to do a full breakdown. Full overview, go over the product, go over travel, go over compensation, do a little bit of recognition. We've got a couple people that have already promoted themselves to executive, which is incredible. A few people that are about to become 1K as well. Just do some fun stuff on there. It's going to be more of a culture call than anything at nighttime. So again, use those as momentum, because if you're sitting here right now and go, man, I don't know how I could afford this. Well, you could have a couple people purchase a $7.99 pack and make $220 every time they do that. Do that a couple times, twice, 3 times. You have enough money to go, no matter where you live in the US, really, because you can get a plane, you can fly layovers and everything, and get there for a few $100, pile into a cheap hotel, get to the event. Remember, when you go to these events, no one knows where you sleep. I learned that real quick, especially when I stayed in my car the one time. They don't know where you sleep. All they know is you showed up. And when you show up, in this industry, maybe in other industries, it's about 80% is showing up. Here in network marketing and home-based business, in direct affiliate sales and all what we're doing, I think it's 99.9%. The other little bit is you taking some daily action. But 99% of it is I just got to show up. I got to do something, and I got to be present around the energy so I vibrate at a higher level. So I want to thank you so much for checking out and hopping on this little, I don't even know what we're calling it yet, but we got to do a call every Monday morning. Maybe we'll do it every morning. I don't know. Maybe we should. I'm probably pretty fired up, as you can tell, and I barely drank any coffee. And so with that, I hope to see you on the call today at 12 p.m. Central, and then tonight at 7 p.m. Get as many people. Those are all for guests. I mean, the guest one at the kind of lunch hour type thing, or maybe someone that doesn't go to work, maybe they work from home, get them on that look, because then we can get them to invite more people to Monday night. And you can go into this week with some commissions already generated, potentially some new team members already getting started. And that's really what this is about. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful, amazing week. And hopefully we'll see you on the next few calls. Bye for now.